Right, so the problem is you've been using Windows all your life and now you want to use a Mac. That's okay, fine, easy to transport all your files. But not so easy when it comes to complicated issues like metadata. If you're like me, you've got pictures, lots and lots, thousands of pictures, and you've painstakingly typed in information. So this one here I got from this website. I renamed with a decent title so it can be found, and big thing in Vista, I tagged it with different tags. I even rated it. If I put that, just copy and paste onto a Mac, you're not going to get nothing. Right, so you want to convert them, okay? At the moment, Windows Vista uses XMP, and a Mac uses IPTC. Now, XMP is the successor to IPTC, okay? But that doesn't mean say IPTC is crap, because Apple wouldn't be using IPTC. It's sufficient, certainly, for what you want. And you're just going to have to put up with it, because that's what Mac uses. Getting your head around that really is the most difficult thing. I managed to. Okay, so what you're going to need to convert, you're going to need your image files, and you put those into a folder called old JPEG, and you create a new folder which is empty called new JPEG. You're going to need a free program by Phil Harvey. There's a link in the comments. It's called ExifTool. And when you download that, there's going to be lots of things that you're going to have to look up because it's complicated. But luckily, and this is a tutorial for JPEGs, by the way, he's created a template for JPEGs, so the majority of people using his tool are going to be able to just get on with it. Now, I didn't find his template did what I wanted, so I slightly modified mine, and when I say template, we're talking about an argument file, ARGS file, and it looks, if you open it up in Windows Notepad, it looks like this, a load of crap. It doesn't look like that on a Mac, but what it's supposed to look like is this. This is how it's properly rendered, and this is in Microsoft Word. Now, you'll see all you have to do, in yellow you've got the XMP field, the title field, and in the corresponding IPTC you've got headline. That's something I can't remember if it's the default, but that's what I want, so that's what I did. Okay, so on the left you've got the subject field, you've got comments, and you've got author. You'll notice it says XP author. This is because Microsoft doesn't necessarily use XMP as it's supposed to be. They've got their own proprietary way of doing it, so it's more lock-in. As you know, Windows users are locked in, but with Apple they just use IPTC as the standard dictates. Now I'll give you this file, you can look at it, it's no problem, but this is how I've figured mine. Okay, so what it does is when you run the tool, which I'm just about to do, it looks at this argument file and it does what it's told, and it takes all the data from an image field title and puts it into a corresponding IPTC field. Okay, so let's do it. Right, so you go and make sure you don't do CD // stay where you are if you've got it set up like this. And I'm going to leave you to uninstall ExifTool. And actually, one thing, you don't need this tool, but there's a GUI overlay which allows you to use ExifTool in a more familiar environment. You might well want to do that, but I did it through DOS, so this is how I'm going to show you. I'm just going to show you this to show you that the files are as I say. So here's a new folder, nothing in there. Here are the old files. If you go to IPTC, it's checking for any IPTC data, nothing. If you go to XMP, it's got all the data, okay? So that's just to prove that I'm doing it as I say I am. Okay, so now you need to type in the command to make it do what you want. So you type ExifTool space stroke O, which I think stops it from overwriting the original files. So it'll write it to different folders, won't overwrite the files. You don't want to overwrite files, just in case. You always need a backup. And bloody hell, back up before you try this. Trust me. Okay, so you want to type the desktop you want to type the location of the folder that you want to output the new IPTC encoded files. You do that first. Then I do F, which I can't remember now, I've done this such a long time ago. I believe has something to do with the characters, I think, because I use lots of foreign characters it can mess up. You do stroke ampersand, which I think is necessary for this to work, and then you do the location of the argument file. So it's going to be on my desktop. This is why you stay in here, because you don't want to have to type everything else. And you type the name of the file, so XMP to IPTCN.ARGS. That's what I've called it. Then space, then you type the location of where it's going to get those files. Old JPEG. Then you type enter for it to execute. So it says one directory scanned, it's only looked at one folder, and 3 images created. And you go to new JPEG, which has been populated by the new files, and here they are. You'll notice that the XMP hasn't been deleted, but in the subject field it seems to have copied from the comments. So it's once they're converted, you don't want to rely on them to be like they were, but it hasn't deleted the data. So what I'm going to do is now go into the new JPEG folder, and I'm going to click IPTC, and here we go, it's got all the information, and it worked. Now there are little tips I can give, like if you've got a problem like I have, like I've got 20,000 images, don't give it a batch process of 20,000, do it in batches of 1,000 maximum. I'd say even 500, and it'll take time. It'll be say 5 or 10 minutes just doing what it's doing, but just leave it to do what it does. And if you get any errors, they'll be listed. That's where it can get complicated. If you do get errors, then make a note of the files that it had a problem with and do them separately. And if it doesn't work, you'll have to copy and paste manually. But for the majority, it is going to work, but there can be issues. It took me a lot of dedication to convert my 20,000 images, because I got them from everywhere. I got them from the internet, I got them, well, from the internet. I mean, this is bloody mess enough. Okay, so there's that. Yeah, and the reason I've called it IPTCN is N stands for normal. That's just normal JPEGs, but I found any pictures I took with my camera, my Kodak, the data in the fields didn't go how I wanted, so I had to create a separate argument file just for my Kodak images, and I'll upload that as well. You can see the changes. Yeah, a little trick. There is no official field for ratings in IPTC, so you can see this has got a rating of 3. So what I did was I tagged it with the number 3, and then when you're in Mac and you're using whatever program you're using, you can then look at all the files with number 3, batch rate them when you're on your Mac with 3-star, and then just delete that tag if you want. You can do that, and that's basically all you have to do. Okay.